finally. Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Happy Sabbath, everybody. Happy Sabbath.
It is good to be in the place and in the space today. I am excited, gentlemen, about today, man. This is exciting today on two counts. Number one, because we've got some phenomenal guests. And number two, because this is the very first time we are welcoming the Southeastern Conference partnering with us here at the Pastors Roundtable. So we are streaming today for the very first time to Southeastern Conference YouTube channel and Southeastern Conference Facebook page. So Southeastern Conference, hey, wait a minute, I got something. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, where is it? I got something here. I had something here. Here it is. Here it comes. Boom, Southeastern Conference, the logo right there. Yes. Southeastern in the house. We're excited
that's looking good,
to
man.
welcome our SEC crowd with us today.
Looking good.
Roger, you're looking good over there, man.
Hey, man. Hey, what can I say? I may not be with you the whole time today, but I wanted to make sure I was here. I'm here on site in Savannah, Georgia, supporting a colleague, a friend of mine's. Had a death in the family, but I couldn't miss Pastors Roundtable, so I made sure that I could be here with you to at least say hello to the team, maybe say the first question, and get the conversation started today.
Awesome. We appreciate you, man. So making sure you stop by today.
And our prayers go out to the family as well, on the loss. Yes. And I know that your presence there will be a mighty support.
Yes, indeed. Hey, let's welcome some guests right quick. I see Mom is in the house. That's the first one. I had to go straight to Mom.
Hey,
Mom is saying Sabbath greetings from the Twin Islands, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, she is.
Who else do we see?
Myrna Harris. I love it. She's on the line today. And then Samantha Barkley. Come on now. You know about Samantha Barkley, one of our former members of the Mount Sinai Church in Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, that's right. I see Gaston, Pastor Pierre. When you look beyond the late start, because it's going to be so packed with value, it's worth the wait. Let's go. Hey. All right, preacher, good to have you with us, good sir.
But listen, we want to let you know that the late start wasn't really our fault. It was our tech fault. And that's why we're here. We want to talk about tech in our group. So, give us that much.
I think we're going to learn that when it's the tech's fault, it's our fault.
Hey, listen, man, we got to do something right now, Pastor Paul. We got to do something. But what do we have to do today, man?
We got to ask you to share, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not shared this stream yet, you need to do it now. Share it because, again, there's going to be so much value in what you get today. And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about that. But we do want you to invite somebody. Tag somebody, specifically tag somebody that's on your tech team or one of your ministry leaders, all of your ministry leaders at your church, your media department, your communications crew. Make sure they are here because there's not a minute, not a moment they want to miss about what we're going to share and what our guests are bringing to the table today. So we are, as Pastor Wade talked about, we are talking about leveling up your gear, leveling up your impact when it comes to local church ministries, local church media departments, communication teams, and just your individual ministry departments as well. That's what we're talking about today. Make sure you go and share this. Last week I asked, or the week before I asked about we wanted to get 100 shares. You guys did a phenomenal job. We ended up with like 100 something shares that day. Can we get to 150 today, gentlemen? 150? Is that our mark? 150 shares?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we're going to be watching you guys. Austin Humphreys, the bishop, is in the house today. He says we can start now. He's here. Bless the Lord, oh my soul.
Let's jump in, Pastor Paul.
Okay, so who's at the table?
Now you know the tech that I was talking about.
Yes.
Well, listen, a question. Listen, Pastor Paul, you already told us what's on the table. So let me do the honors and tell you who's at the table. Can we get in that thing? Well, listen, today is a blessed day. Today we have Dr. Rohann Wellington. Let me tell you something. We are in for a treat. He is a guru. He is a specialist in digital marketing, in graphic design, social media. He has a wealth of experience. Listen, he comes to us not only from the pastoral perspective, but also he was in the television as a television director director and audio visual floor engineer for the Cable News Network. We are in for a treat with Dr. Wellington, who now serves in the North American Division as the professional in the Professional Services Department. So we thank Dr. Wellington for being on. And then we have, there's a drum roll, the one and only Captain, I call him Captain Kirk. I'm talking about Kirk Nugent, the man, the creator. He does a host of online media professional workshops. Is powerful. He does a whole. What else can I say about Kirk Nugent, man? He was on Pastor Roundtable before, done a wonderful job. He has just a mind that we got to pick from today to get us to that next level. The guru himself, Kirk Nugent, is in the building, and I'm excited to have Dr. Wellington and Kirk Nugent right here at the Pastor's Roundtable. Hey, listen, I got to take some notes because
I got some note paper here too. Let's
yes,
do this.
Sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Hey,
right,
First University in the house. 1U Tech is watching. All right. Hey, let's bring them on. Let's bring them on right now. I don't want to wait any longer. Hey, there they are.
Hey.
There we
in
go.
the house today.
We are here. What's good? What's good, family?
And there's just too much electricity up in this spot right now. I don't know. Wow.
It is hot. It is hot. Listen,
It's good to be
these
here.
two
Good to
gentlemen,
be here.
these two gentlemen have inspired not only the three of us on here, but inspired the world in the Adventist circles in
Absolutely.
this arena. So I just want to say it is a joy to have you here with us. And as our host normally shares, we didn't give you a whole resume. You have a few moments to share with us a little bit of what you would like to tell our viewers this afternoon. We're going to start with Dr. Wellington. I know you're a preacher, but we're going to let you have your time today because you're going to bring us good food today. So share with us something you would like to share with your viewers, something about yourself, your family, what you're doing. Give us a shout out.
All right. Thank you very much, Pastor Roger, Anselm, and Dion. It's so great to be here with you. Trust me, if you got Kirk on, you don't need me. Kirk is the man. So it's good to be it's good to be on with Kirk. I'm Rohann Wellington. I love media, love tech. Always dreamt of a happy marriage between media and ministry. And it's come together. The pandemic has helped us to realize that it's not one or the other, but together. Some people say the health message is the right arm. I say media is the left arm. So you get the complete body.
All right.
Awesome. What?
Listen, I think this button is going to get a lot of work today, Kirk, because the right arm, left arm, I got to throw that in there.
Listen, there's a lot of power in the room, man. A lot of power in the room. All right, I guess it's my time to.
Yeah, it's your turn. I just want to say this. Dion calls you Captain Kirk, but your midnight cafes, you are the bishop.
Bishop.
So Bishop, share with us.
There you go.
The Bishop, man. This is amazing. Listen, so let me start by saying my name is Kirk Nugent, former missionary and IT executive turned content creator and live video coach. I've been given the title the Geek Speaker Preacher, and it really embodies my passions: technology, media, speaking, and ministry. While I am growing intentionally on a number of social media platforms, my primary focus is on YouTube, where I teach small businesses, entrepreneurs, and faith-based entities how to harness the power of live video. And that's me in a nutshell. My link is right here beside my name, kirk10klive.com. You'll find all my links there. But what I want to say here real quick before I yield the mic back to our gracious hosts is a word of affirmation for this space that you've created here for the Pastor's Roundtable. The truth of the matter is the formula is simple. Being successful online in these online spaces, being a content creator, creating a space for people to have their questions answered. And what you have done, you looked out into the cosmos. I was going to say cosmos, but probably more online. And you said there is a gap. There is a gap in our offerings. There's a gap in our conversation. There's a gap in what our ministries need. And we want to fill that gap with the Pastor's Roundtable. all three of you are not only sharing from a perspective of expertise, but a perspective of a lived experience. A lived experience can sometimes be even more important and more impactful than expertise. You have needed some of the resources that you are bringing to your audience, and you are now able to share that with them, and they galvanize around this platform. Some of the things that we're going to answer today, some of the topics we're going to touch on today in this session, deal with some of the things that you see these three men doing with this space. So I will be using Pastors Roundtable as an example for some of the questions that we'll dive into today. My name is Kirk Nugent. Again, I'm excited to be here, excited to chat with you guys, excited to dive into the content.
All right.
Hey, that's it right
awesome.
there in a nutshell.
Every word.
All right, here we go. Well, I'm ready, guys. I don't want to belabor this anymore. Let's have a word of prayer, and then let's jump in. Let's jump in. Father, we thank you for this moment. We ask that you would be in it and that you would lead us and direct us. We thank you, Father, for the gift that you've given us in technology. We ask as we seek today to sharpen those tools and to get better at it, that you would be our guide. For we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Listen, when I started organized ministry in 1998, we had to get to the church. We had to set up the service, put the bulletins together. We had to make sure the microphone was working. We made sure that the speaker was there. The water was at the desk. Things were in place. But the pandemic has changed all of that.
Mercy.
The pandemic has changed all of that. How critical is it for churches to have a virtual presence? I'm going to ask Dr. Wellington to start that with us.
Critical is an understatement. If they don't have it, they're in intensive care, and we hope the vital signs will give them life after the pandemic is over. But if they don't, it needs to happen like yesterday. Online presence is, if you don't have an online presence today, it is not too late to develop. Let's say that. Let's give that to those who are still looking to develop. So let's not say that they can't do it. They can. If you have an online presence or had one pre-pandemic and you're doing one now is the time to reevaluate, reassess, and make sure that what you have is being effective. Because I can tell you the reality of today's worship experience is it's window shopping. You window shop. People want to see what they have, what's happening on the inside. And if it's not happening on the inside, it's bye-bye. See you later.
Mercy.
And today, because of the pandemic, it's church without walls. So I'm up in the Northeast in the morning. I'm down Southeast down South in the afternoon, and then I go in the afternoon. I cross the pond. I'm all over the world.
Wow.
Because of this virtual experience. Shape up, leverage up, because it's time to shape up.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Listen, Rohan always, I don't even know, how do you guys put him first? I don't want to go after him, but I do want to tack on
Kirk,
a little bit to that.
At the NAD, they created an office for this man. It didn't exist before he had it. This director of professional services, it did not exist before Rohann Wellington.
This is it. Now, I said this to
you
and answer my.
But don't say it that way, man.
Listen, I said this to Anselm earlier, but this first question is hard, man, because I want you guys to invite me back. So even as I'm looking at my notes, I'm like, maybe you should let's slow roll this thing. But let me say this. I think that your online presence, your virtual presence is relative to your church. It is relative to you as a specific body of believers, right? To your specific church. Should you be online? The online is the current marketplace. So answer the question yourselves. Should you be in the marketplace with the gospel message? The answer is yes. And if that answer is yes, then you should be online, because online is the new marketplace. Where else can you go to find people that are not in your sphere of influence, people that are not in your circles, people that you won't naturally come across on a day-to-day basis? Where else can you go to find them but to find them online? But when you find them online, I hope that you have a purpose in finding them. See, this is, in my opinion, the issue for a lot of churches is that we want them to come to us. Hey, we're here at church, and you stop. Why should they come to you? Why should they come and hang out? Why is it relevant that you're here? So I'm going to challenge folks right now. I'm sorry. I'm going to challenge folks right now. What is the name of your website?
Something, Seventh-day Adventist Church, the greater church of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
What is the name of your Instagram handle? What's the name of your Facebook page?
The same.
Why is that relevant? What question are you answering? What need are you meeting he mingled with the people as one who desired their good. What good do you desire with them? When you say that your name is Altamont Springs Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Oh,
help me understand. So I think there's a tension here. Yes, you should be online. How should you be online? Right? And here's the last piece I want to share here. And again, I hope you guys invite me back. The pandemic, I'll say it this way. Is the pandemic a factor in the fact that we need to have a virtual presence? Or has it just revealed a deficit?
Exposed.
It literally just revealed a deficit. So I think we have to think, yes, we want to talk about the tech and the gear and all that stuff. Yes, you need to be online because online is the new marketplace. And if you're not online, then what are you really saying? See, but here's the thing. I want you to make sure that you translate this into the in-person as well. Why would somebody go to your website? Okay, pause. Why would somebody come to your church?
Exactly.
Those two questions are not dissimilar. You need to marry up those plans and have an approach and attack, a method that is going to be successful, that will take people from where they are to where they want to be.
Wow.
I'm stopping.
Listen, you're giving us some hard medicine right now, man.
I don't know if I can jump in. I want to say something on that. Oh,
go ahead, Doc.
I think it's important too that because we're in this tech space, that we navigate and help people to understand the difference between that virtual presence and that online presence. Because we use those words interchangeably, and it's really it's different. And people are asking about, especially for small churches, when the pandemic came, we're not promoting any product, but we're saying these products because they work. Zoom provided that virtual experience for a lot of churches, regardless of size, whether they're small or large. Zoom became that virtual experience. That's not the same as the online, because Zoom now allowed you to go online by that streaming presence and also by that online presence that you could, your website, et cetera, that Kirk made reference to. But if you are in that virtual space with, like, for example, Zoom, we'll use that as an example for small churches. If you're not yet ready for the online presence, please don't hit that go live button until you're ready to hit that go live button. Hold off on that go live button until you're ready.
No, that's good.
So let me pull this other question back, and I think you addressed it a tad there, Pastor Wellington. This was from the Victory.
Rohan's fine, man. No titles, man. I'm good.
Okay, got you. So Victory SDA Church asked, is an online presence critical for all churches, considering small churches may not be able to? And I'm going to proffer you guys my thoughts on this, and then I want your feedback on it. I think that out of all of the churches in this day and in this age that have potential to benefit from an online presence, our smaller churches have much greater potential to profit from being in the online space. I've pastored churches that had 15, 20 members, 12 members out in the boonies, out in the country. And I'm just preaching to those 12 people, and that's all I'm getting. But if I were in the online space, almost automatically, I could have, just from my own personal friends as the pastor, I could have expanded the reach of that church by being in the online space multiple times more than I may have, should I have been already in a large church in a large city where there's tons of cities and tons of other churches, et cetera, et cetera. Do large churches have more to gain by having a presence in the space?
Man, so I'm glad you asked that question. Because, you want to jump, Kirk?
No. Let me just tack on something, because Rohann actually, in my opinion, answered this question just a second ago by defining the difference between online presence and virtual presence. I think maybe the person asking the question is more speaking to a virtual presence. Should smaller churches have a virtual presence online? And I think maybe there may be a conversation there as to whether or not a virtual presence is necessary online. But I think that everybody should have an online presence. Every church, every person should have an online presence. I coach people, individual ministries that are made up of 2 and 3. I coach them on how to get started and establish a platform online to answer questions and serve thousands. So I don't see the size of the church, agreeing with Pastor Paul, I don't see the size of the church being a factor in whether or not you should have a presence online. I think you should have a presence online. Does that mean you need to be streaming a service? Not necessarily. I mean, it could mean that if it's relevant to your strategy online, if it's relevant to your topic online, if it's relevant to the answer, the question that you specifically answer with your content online. Because if you're online, you should be answering a question. I want to say that again. If you're online, you should be answering a question. Go ahead, Rohann. Sorry.
And the question is, whether you're small or large, the question is that every church, media team, pastoral team, church board, every church should be asking is, what is our plan for outreach? Because what this pandemic did is that it leveled the playing field for the big churches. Let me tell you the honest truth about this whole pandemic and online streaming and ministry in both the online and the virtual space. Guess what? The small church and the big church, the TD Jakes type church and the Andrews church and the Oakwood church and the small church all came to the same leveling ground. Mercy. In terms of being on the online.
Come on, preacher. Yes, sir.
Let the weak say I am strong.
Yeah.
But what makes the difference is, what's the plan? In the small church, and I know some of the guys who worked on TD Jakeson's ministry and helped with the online side. It started small, but they had a strategy and they helped to build it and grow it to where it is. What's the strategy that you have for the small church? And yes, answer, when you have only that 12 or so people, yeah, it's good. But guess what? Make sure if you only have one good singer, use that one good singer.
Mercy.
Can I say something to?
If you only stick to what you can do and do it well. And once you do it well, it will continue to grow. Don't try to be a mega church when you're a small church, because you have to do what you do well. You can't come to the major leagues with a minor league mentality. You got to understand what's happening.
Hey, we didn't put that organ in there, Pastor Paul, man. That Hammond needs to go right there, baby.
Let's not go down this rabbit hole too long, because that's next week's show. Remember, we're here about the gear, not about the content. We're going to deal with the content next week. And I think you have set us up nicely with why we need to be either a virtual presence or have good content on there. I think you all have done an excellent job. But don't forget that we got to begin with what we're talking about today on the gear. So let's be careful in where we going with this.
So let's go there. Pastor Wade is getting us on track, man. Getting us on track. So listen. All right, so for the last almost 2 years, right, 18 months, we've watched local churches online, right? You've watched them. Everybody's getting online, really online, not just the virtual space, but online, Facebook, YouTube, all that. What are the top 3 mistakes you see local church tech teams doing and media departments while they are online? The top 3 mistakes that you see local churches doing and church tech teams doing while they are online.
Oh
Can
man.
No. Go, Rohan.
Okay,
Only.
okay. You said
It's
the
raw.
church
It's
and the
raw.
tech team.
Let me
tell you
say
the
this.
On
church.
church.
Is it three? Is it
on
3
church.
3 or is it 3
Go ahead.
total for the two of us? Is 3 for Rohan and 3 for me? Is it how many? Well, give us some parameters
three
here.
each is fine. Yeah, we want to know the top
Okay, 3
3
each.
mistakes that you see local churches making, tech
Actually,
teams and media departments.
Kirk,
Yes, go
Kirk and
ahead.
I and another friend of ours, BT, we were in this chat group together. We actually we did do this critiquing process when this pandemic happened, and you'd be hilarious to see what we found
Yeah.
in some of the way. But I'll say this: one of the things that the churches, from the church's perspective, and I'll let Kirk do the tech piece. A lot of churches take the offline program, meaning their regular worship service, and just put it online. That's a big mistake. Big mistake.
Yeah. That's actually my number one as well, Rohan. Go ahead.
Okay.
No, I'll add to it. I'll add to it if you want me to.
Go ahead.
So streaming just the service only. See, so here's what I want to ask folks is when you as an individual consume content online. I saw somebody say it in the chat right now. If I was a seeker and I came across a church service, I would, as soon as the announcement rolled, I would roll out as well. And so what I'm saying is you need to walk the space as if you are somebody who's in the process of searching. Don't just stream your service only and call that being an online presence. Put content online that help people to answer a question. I think the church as a whole has multiple in-depth, very specific, powerful answers to questions that the world is searching for answers for. How do I know this? Because all of the top platforms that we have online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, they are search engines. At their core, people are searching. So if you can plug into what they're searching for, you can help them meet their need. You got to put content out there that's going to actually meet that need. Now, it is very difficult. Let's be clear. It is very difficult with zero online presence to now start putting a worship service online and say that this is my content, my number one, my only form of content. It's difficult. So streaming the service only, I would say, is one of the major mistakes. The other two, I'll just say very quickly, since I have the mic, not respecting the social platforms and what it takes to be successful. There are rules to this thing. There are rules of engagement. There are rules to being online. Churches feel like we can just break all those rules and still find success. If you have multiple people watching your service now, I would ask you the question, with zero search engine optimization, with no hashtags, with no attributes, you haven't optimized your thumbnail. Your title for your thing means nothing. It literally says Sabbath service and the date. Why do you think you have multiple viewers? You are only appealing to an audience that is internal. People who are seeking for the answer to the question. I want to be clear. The answer is in the sermon. It's there. But you have hidden it. You have hidden it. You haven't followed the rules of online to ensure that the people who are searching for the answer can find the answer. And you want to make it quick. Get to it, right? Don't make them wait through all of the perfunctory. This is why I'm saying I do not believe that service only, the church service only, is your primary form of content online. You need to be putting out snippets. You need to be putting out small things that help to answer people's questions. My last one is we must also adjust the way we serve for online. This means the time, right? This means the language, the verbiage, the acronyms that we use. It means the how we engage. It is from the person who is doing Sabbath school to the person that is preaching the message. How you engage online is not. I'll give you one example and I'll shut up. For the pastors, my pastor friends out there, you must own the comments. You must own the comments. Do you know what it means to own the comments? It means in your message, you must put placeholders of questions that you need to give to your comments. Hey, comment section, tell me what's your prayer life look like this week? Was it good, bad? Talk to me in the comments. Then you continue on with your message while the comments are responding. If you don't do that, someone else will rule the comments. Somebody just posted a second ago, hey, help me with my thing. I've got my Cash App here. Somebody posts in there, hey, I believe that the mark of the beast is not real. And this whole other conversation begins happening in the comments because you have left the comments alone, unattended. You've got to rule the comments. In order to rule the comments, how you deliver your content has to be different. This is the mistake that I see people making.
Let me just give it a pause right quick, Rohann, just before you go. You guys have noticed that Pastor Wade had to leave us, but some of you have noticed that the nameplate changed, Dr. Henry. The nameplate in that slot has changed. Talk to us about this guy.
Ah, man, the man is here. The man is here.
Let me tell you. In fact, I just had a conversation about 2 months ago with this guy. You remember we talked on the phone with Pastor Taylor? We talked on the phone when I was driving in Nashville, and we talked. Listen, we got a heavy hitter right here. Where's that organ, man? We need to have the organ going on here. This is the communication guru. I mean, he does communication at the highest level. He is an online guru. He does graphics. He does everything you need. You got to go to BT. We just call it BT. We got to call it BT because BT has the answer for your problem when you are online. BT is the man. It's good to see Pastor Brian Taylor here with us today.
Welcome, BT.
Well, thank you.
All right. Man. Okay, I'm sorry, Rohann, we kind of cut you off there. We're going to let you go ahead and pick that up.
Yeah, actually, you have the name tags kind of wrong because you have BT is Rohann and Rohann is BT. That's
yeah.
They'll tell
I
you
made
about
sure I didn't wear the same glasses you have on today, so they didn't get
Come on.
They get us confused all the time. But here's the next biggest mistake. You're talking about tech team, so let me talk to the tech team. This right here, not having proper lighting for their church project. Okay. Not having the proper lighting has been a big problem. I've seen some churches, the preacher is dark, the area is dark, you can't see the preacher. So you want to invest in lighting. I'm not doing any product promotion. I'm just saying that this brand is pretty cheap. I'm not giving any product promotions on this, but just letting you know that I found that this brand is pretty cheap. And you can use in a set of 3 or in a set of 5. You can get them in different intensities. The second thing is, I want to get back to Kirk's point, but let me give you the other one, is the audio. Now, let's
talk about
hearing, and you need to hear the word of God, okay? So, audio, the media team needs the resources. Let me talk to the leadership team, the pastors and everything. Empower your media team by giving them the proper equipment for lighting, camera, and audio. Those 3 things: light, camera, action, light, camera, and audio. You need those 3 things. Outside of who's your first elder, your treasurer, the next most important person in your church, if you're going to rank anybody, but I don't do that, but if you're going to, is your media person, okay? So make sure you invest in that. So, and then finally, on the point that Kirk made, this is a big thing because a lot of churches have their streaming set up for people, what I call the fly on the wall experience.
Yes.
Where they're streaming, but the online experience, online people are just treated like a fly on the wall. You just pitch up there and just watch us do what we're doing, rather than recognizing and being intentional about reaching the online audience. I was by a church in California. I'm not going, well, I can name the church. It was Rubidoux. I was by a Rubidoux church. When I saw those guys doing some online thing a few years ago when we were doing our doctorate, and I found out that these guys were actually doing the online appeal while they were doing the in-person appeal for their offering. All right?
Oh, wow.
And guess what? So they had Seth, and it was I was doing the online piece, and Michael was doing the in-house piece. And guess what? The online audience offering was just as substantial as the in-person audience offering. So the potential is great. Just don't treat your online audience like a fly on the wall. It's a community. It's real people, real connections, real relationships with people that ought to be authentic. Now, final thing I answered somebody. I didn't see the comment, but somebody was saying there about some resources they wanted to have from NAD. If we could get that one back, you let me know about that afterwards. I don't know where that comment was made. I'll look for it, but I'd love to take that up and see what they do for small churches too.
Yeah, I would just piggyback there if I can. I know BT is here, and I want him to be able to speak, but there's something that Rohann touched on there in terms of the fly on the wall mentality. You can structure your service in a way that allows for real time engagement for your online audience. If you have an online host, if you have an quote unquote, I don't want to say pastor, but you have somebody who your online audience resonates with. They see them regularly. They get to know their personality. They have an ongoing conversation because they were talking about something last week and they're talking about it this week and they talk about it the next week as well. If you can create that kind of space with your online audience, you then begin to have an experience that is unique to the online space and an experience that is unique to the in-house space. This is what true hybrid church will look like. And sometimes you need platforms around being able to create those spaces, right? I like to call it, the outer court and the inner court and the holy of holies. If you have the outer court would be the number that's watching right now. So right now, Anselm, we got 181. So that's the outer court. And then if you had, let's say, a Zoom meeting, right, where you had some people who are just a little bit closer to one another on camera, that would be more like the inner court. And then if we could get them into the building, maybe that would be the holy. I don't know. Maybe that analogy doesn't work for everybody. But what I'll say is this. There are platforms out there that do even a better job than, say, Zoom. And I want to pause it here. Alter Live. alterlive.com. Check it out. I'm actually doing some work with them right now. So full disclosure, I'm actually starting a cohort of training with Alter Live right now. So Anselm, I did send you a link in the private chat, the guest chat, or whatever it's called there. But Alter Live is a platform that will enable you to set up a space that is hybrid. It is not where you're sitting watching on your phone and you're a number on a screen. You are sitting in a digital space with other believers from the church, taking in the service together. It bridges this gap. I think I have done, this is my third cohort that I'm teaching in Alter Live Academy. Unfortunately, none of my fellow Adventist brethren have been in any of those cohorts. I've been working with some of our non-Adventist folks, but it is what it is. What I'm simply saying is ministries are coming into the Alter Live Academy, learning how to do digital ministry. These are some of the resources that I believe that are out there. I want to say one last thing. Somebody asked, how do we get these funds and resources? Rohann touched on this as well. If it's not a part of your church's overarching plan, then there will be no funding or resources. If we continue to look at it as how does the media team get money, I think we're missing the point. If we continue to look at it as an external thing, like the media team needs money for what media teams do. No. Wow. The overarching goal of the church is to reach people. And if we as a church have decided that we are going to reach people online, then we need to fund that decision. This is not a media issue. The entire church needs to take this journey together.
Quick, just a quick follow-up. Two things. One, I know you gave full disclosure about the university and you asked about the Adventist. Full disclosure, I was made aware just this week that there is a Doctor of Ministry cohort coming for mass media communication, and that's coming out of Andrews University, and I got the permission to drop the news today, so you can look for that to come. You can, if you're interested, you can contact hivet@andrews.edu. There's a cohort coming, and guess what? Kirk, I'm putting your name in. So don't say you ain't gonna be contacted, okay?
Okay, hold up. I was concentrating on something else. Run that by us one more time, Rohann.
So Andrews University will be launching a Doctor of Ministry cohort in mass media ministry.
Wow.
And it's going to be launched the first class will be in September of 2023, but they're starting the registration process now. If you are interested, you can contact me or you can contact Hivet at andrews.edu. Hivet at andrews.edu. That's Dr. Hivet Williams. And that will be starting in next September for the first class.
Oh, that's awesome. That's phenomenal. That's
beautiful.
But to Kirk's point, this is a critical point. Oftentimes we ask the question about what the church where media team can get their monies, and how, as if the media team is divorced from the church full focus. When the church embraces media ministry as a part of its mission, its modus operandi, then it will not have a problem in putting the funding behind it.
Wow.
The problem is they see it as a separate thing.
Yeah.
And that is the problem. They need to embrace it and recognize that it is a part of the modus operandi. And sorry if my audio is dropping out, but
no, it's
I
not.
just moved, so I still have not got unpacked my stuff yet.
No, you're good. We're hearing you loud and clear, and I couldn't agree with you more, man. BT, go ahead, man. I know you wanted to say something.
No, I was saying he was good. When he talked about funding. One of the things that often happens is media teams look and say, "Oh, we need all of this equipment. We need all of this money." I was doing a concert with someone yesterday, and I shared with them. I said, "Don't ask for money. Do the work. Begin the ministry. Let them see what's happening. Let them see what's going. As small as it is, let them see what's going. And as they say, oh, wow, we're doing this. Here's where we want to go. Share the vision. Because I firmly believe, and God has proved it to me over the years, that provision always follows the vision.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Come on, BT.
And so once the vision is there, here's where we are. Here's where we're trying to go. There will be people who will come alongside you and say, how can I help with that?
Wow.
How what is it that you need? How can I help with that? How can I be a part of this? The old folks used to always say, everybody gets on a moving wagon.
Come on. That's the analogy right there.
I love it.
Yeah.
No. Listen, Anselm, I want to touch this question. I think BT has touched on that piece, but I want to touch on this question from Pablo Lake. I can't pronounce the first name. I can't really see it actually, but from Pablo Lake, it's up there a little bit. It says, what would you say should be the first actions to be taken, the ABC steps to get a church who has the potential to go online, actually online? What comes first and then after? What comes first, I would say, is an understanding of an understanding of the content you want to put online. An understanding of the question you want to answer. An understanding of the question, watch this, that you are uniquely positioned to answer given your lived experience. So if an Asian gentleman creates a natural black hair channel for women and he's Asian, would you watch that channel? He could solve all your problems, but you would not watch because his lived experience does not match what the content that he's offering. So that's not a channel he can offer. So if you don't know the pornography struggle, then you can't put out content to help people overcome porn. If you don't know the alcoholic struggle, then you can't put out content to help somebody overcome alcoholism. So what it's going to require is for you to actually look inside and say, here are my issues and how God is bringing me over. And I will document this roadmap to share it with those who struggle the same way I do. And that, once you have that piece, you now need to look at who is my target audience. So now I've identified what my topic is. And to be clear, the topic is not, we're going to go into all the world and teach the gospel. The topic is specific to you. God has given you a unique experience. Your unique experience is going to inform what your topic is. Second piece is, who am I uniquely designed to answer this question for? Mm-hmm. Now you've identified your topic and your person. Once you've identified your topic and your person, now you can get into the technical. How are we going to put out content? Is it going to be quote memes? Is it going to be videos? Is it going to be shorts? Is it going to be reels? Is it going to be podcast topic? How are we going to put content out there? Once you decide what your delivery mechanism is, you need to be consistent. You need to put it out there at a regular interval, and people need to depend on you for putting it out there at that regular interval. The last piece is you got to close the loop. You've got to keep engaged. You never put a period at the end of the sentence. It's a two-way conversation. You've invested in this verbal contract with your audience. You need to pour into them and allow them to pour into you. You need to be real and vulnerable. You got to share your mistakes, your downfalls. You can't just put on the facade and say, I'm perfect. You're not. Come look at me. They resonate with the three voices: the sage, which is the wise person, the authoritative person that says, here's what I went through, don't do it this way. They resonate with the student, the person who can organize a conversation by asking a question. And they resonate with the struggler, most with the struggler. Fam, I failed today. Anybody who's online who has experienced ridiculous, radical growth is when they shared from a very vulnerable place.
Kirk, they're telling me to put on the appeal music.
Put water in the pool. Put water in the pool. Everybody's ready. Yeah.
Wow.
But answer. If I can go back to one, I just want to kind of marry two things that we started off with: the importance or the necessity of an online community, and we started talking about funding it. Let me I'm gonna just share this with everyone. There's a little church in Houston, Texas. Little church. And you know, y'all know I'm being sarcastic a little.
I know.
Listen to this. Their budget is $90 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
their budget is $90 million.
Got it.
Yeah, little church. Yeah, $90 million a year. 79 million of the 90 comes from the online community. Let's think about that for a second. 79 million of the 90 million comes from the online community, not from the people that are sitting in the building.
Preach.
Importance of connecting and having an online ministry. That's one. Here's the other one. Watch this. They spend $25 million a year on TV ministry on their online audience. They spend $31 million a year on the people inside the building. So the budget and your priorities need to be in place. They're spending just as much connecting with their online audience and ministering to them, to people who have never been inside the building, who they have never seen, may never meet. But they minister to them almost at the same level as they minister to the people inside the building.
Wow.
Mercy.
Wow. Hey, listen, we're going to take a little break right quick. We want our guests to stay with us. BT, we're going to take you with us as we just kind of reset this right quick. So Rohann, Kirk, you guys stay put for just a quick second. We're going to go ahead and reset this right now. Oh, my goodness.
My goodness. Pastor Paul, I'm blown away, man. I'm blown away. I'm like, listen, I don't know, man, but look, I gotta step up my gear, man.
Hey, look, we're going to talk more specifically about some gear. We've been talking some theory and some philosophy and stuff, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. But listen, if you are just joining us, if you missed the beginning of today's show, our guest right over to this side, it says Pastor Roger Wade, but that's not Pastor Roger Wade today. That's Bryant Taylor. Pastor Wade had to step away for just a few minutes. We are happy to have Pastor Bryant Taylor with us. He is the new Associate Communications Director, and I'm getting this right, for the Southern Union.
That's right.
And we are excited to have him with us today, as well as our other guest, Rohann Wellington at the North American Division, and Bishop Kirk Nugent, Captain Kirk. We are just excited about it. And listen, we've just got a few minutes left. We've got actually about half the show left, 30 minutes left. You need to invite somebody if you have not already. So we want to simply invite you to do that. We're not going to keep you long here. A couple other things we need you to do. If you are watching on YouTube, we want you to subscribe to the Pastors Roundtable channel. If you have not done that, let's go ahead and click that subscribe button, hit that little bell so that every time Pastors Roundtable goes live, you will get, or puts any content up, that you will get notice of that so that you can stay abreast of what's going on with us here at the PRT. Dion?
And Pastor Paul, listen, we gotta also want to invite you to share this feed with especially your tech team, your audio and visual people at your church. Just share it. Just go ahead. You know their Facebook and whatever. Just share, because what's happening here is going to revolutionize your church.
Absolutely.
Wow. PT, listen, we're happy to have you in this place. You have been sharing with us some gems, man, and how we need to just kind of refocus and know that this online ministry, this technology that we have, that we're exposed to, can really shape our church and do amazing things, not just for the person that we see if we're having in-person church, but also for the people that we can't see. The people online, the people all over the world can be a part of what we're doing. So we thank you so much for dropping those gems here on the PRT.
Amen. All right, well, let's get back to our guest. PT, say something so that we have some audio from you on this clip. I don't care.
Oh yeah, well,
there we go. All right,
yeah.
That's good.
I just appreciate PRT for the space that you all have created, for the relevant topics that you touch on, and for making sure that people are a resource, and you all keep it real. So I'm glad to be here today with you all for that reason.
All right, well, let's get back to keeping it real. Let's bring the rest of our guests back in, and we're going to kind of switch lanes just a little bit here. We've gotten through half of the questions, although we've gotten through more than half of the time. So let's jump in. We have touched a little bit, gentlemen, on this question, but I want to get into some specifics. When we talk about gear, bridging the gap. When we talk about bridging the gap between in-person worship and the virtual worship from a tech perspective, what are the gear essentials? Before the pandemic, many of us were doing in-person worship, and tech was involved. They were doing microphones, they were doing house lights. But if we're moving from an in-person thing to an online thing, and we're not talking about all the extra little content things, just if we're talking, because that's where most of our tech people are. We are doing exactly what in the early part of the program we said we shouldn't do, just streaming the worship service.
Right.
But if you are just streaming the worship service and you were trying to, you've got those members who are at home, those sick and shut in, and they want to be able to see and participate when people are looking at bridging that gap. What are some of the technology items, the pieces of gear or even software stuff that people need, that tech teams need to take a look at to bridge that gap? And then how much money is a church looking to spend? And Kirk, I want to start with you, because a lot of people see what you're doing and they see what BT is doing. People call me and ask me about my gear setup at home. Let's start there, and I'm going to give you a full screen, Kirk, and let's show everybody what your gear at home looks like.
All right. The behind the scenes shot. This is the one everybody loves. This is what it looks like here, family. So I've got a teleprompter in front of me. I've got a screen off to the side. I've got the Rodecaster Pro. This is how we bring in some things. Here we go. Anyway, so that these are some of the things that I have in front of me, and for the most part, this is what a content creator's home studio would probably look like. One of the things that I often say to folks is your gear acquisition needs to be functional. So don't skip over that part. I'm not going to belabor that point. I know we've given you a lot of conceptual pieces, and I know some of you are like, give us some technical. So, but one of the scenarios that I think is great, one of the things that BT and Rohan touched on earlier, is the concept of how to really make your service hybrid. So one of the things is, of course, having a host who's going to be able to speak directly to the audience that's online. How do you bring in a host into your existing broadcast setup? You're going to need to set up something similar to what you see me have right now. Going to have a camera that's off to the side. What I would recommend is doing it in a place that has, a background shot of the main stage, so they know that you're still there, right? Mm-hmm. They know that you're still on site and it's live and it's happening right then and there. If you can get a microphone that will, cut out the ambient sound around you, it's really going to focus in on one voice. That microphone will enable you to have that person in a place that's not quiet, that's maybe not ideal, but they can actually speak to the audience and give some announcements and things like that. Another thing that you can do is, because we have these mobile ways of bringing in guests, depending on what system you're using, you can actually do a mobile setup, right? A little mobile rig with a little microphone and a little tripod or at least a handheld piece. And that will enable you to even go on site to a let's say you have a couple of folks who are sick and shut in, or you have a couple of folks who are watching from a different location. You can go on site and take the quote unquote production on the road, right? And then switch to that person and say, hey, I'm here at so-and-so place with this portion of our online audience. We want to welcome you. We're with them today. They're here. Maybe they've got a couple of family members that are worshiping in their home. They've got the service on the TV. Being able to do those kinds of things, having the tech, right, to be able to bring in people from those unique locations or those places and spaces really makes for a much more engaging and unique online experience, so that the person who's online knows I'm not just looking over the shoulder of the folks inside the church. I have somebody who's specific to me. And so again, the tech pieces of that is let me grab two things real quick, and I'll show those to you. One.
Okay. So Rohann, while he's doing that, I think that a lot of people, we got a whole lot of questions about small churches, and I feel that pain. I know that pain. So some people have no clue about cameras. Is this a video camera, a handy camera? Is this a cell phone? Is this a cinema camera? Is this so things like that. If there's somebody who's a part of a tech team that's watching today, and they're used to coming in the church and flipping a switch to turn on the microphones, and then they can adjust the volume, and then they're done. That's pretty much all that they've been exposed to. When they're talking about getting a camera in the church, what kind of a camera might they be looking at, and what's the range of costs that they would be looking at when it comes to the picture quality?
Thank you. All right. So a couple of things for a small church. Actually, you can get quite a bit done from a small church. Let's start with my favorite for small churches. I think it's the gem that can be used. It's my secret sauce that I've recommended to several churches, and they look like they're big churches. It's called the Mevo camera. Mevo camera. That little thing can be operated from your. It's just mine is in the car. I forgot to bring it in, but it's a small, this big of a camera, right? And you connect a HDMI cable to it. Make sure you run a hardwire not HDMI. I'm sorry, Ethernet cable. I'm sorry, to it. And make sure you get hardwire, not Wi-Fi. Hardwire to it, and then you run that Mevo camera, and you can control that Mevo camera from off your phone. You can control it from off your iPad, and it has multiple shots, so you can do one little camera can generate 8, 10, 12 different scenes that can look like you have 4 or 5 different cameras, but it's only coming out of one camera. So that's the secret sauce I give people. That Mevo camera is a beautiful camera that can be used. If you're doing from a software base, you can. And by the way, that Mevo camera is $400, $500, $600, I think. So it's not that expensive. If you're going to a mid-level church, I would say, there you go, got the Mevo word right there, MEVO. There you go. That's it. That's my secret sauce. And then the next one, I'll give you the next secret sauce that I use for other churches. The next secret sauce is TriCaster. So a TriCaster, if you're going to a medium level size church, you can invest in any range of the TriCaster, and that can run you all the way up to $30K. So that's pretty expensive. Okay. Yeah, I know a church a church did a consultation with me. They spent the $30,000 without even blinking. Bought it. Okay.
So, wait. We heard a word there. We heard that C word. I hope you guys caught that. BT and Rohann, Kirk. Consultation. What they're saying is you better call somebody and ask them, because listen, we can give you, and we thought about this when we were planning this program, is that we can give you some ideas in general stuff, but your building is unique. Your space is specific. Your audio needs are going to be specific. So while we can give you some general stuff today, there's nothing that will supplement or bypass having somebody who is a professional come in and look at your space, give you an idea of, this is what you need to do with lighting. These are the cameras that will work in this space. This is the type of audio system that is best and economical, suiting your needs here in this space. So, and that's going to cost you some money, but don't be afraid to do that. That's part of the sell of that media teams and tech teams need to do to their pastors and to their church boards and to their finance committees, and saying, look, if we're going to do this, we need help, because we don't know how to do this on our own. Trust me, I've tried it. I've tried doing stuff on my own.
And I've gone around to quite a bit of church board meetings to help boards to get to that point. But let me keep going quickly. If you're doing a medium-sized church and you want to do something on a teleprompter, no product placement, sales, but what's that? Magic teleprompter. All right, okay. This is a pretty good one. It looks heavy, but it's just a casing. Love that for teleprompter uses if you need that. If you're doing software based, I would say StreamYard is a good place. If you're doing online streaming, if you're doing Ecamm is another good one. I think we're on Ecamm. Mm-hmm. If you're doing just virtual, use Zoom. Okay, and please, I beg of you, brethren, please, I beg you, do not hit the stream button of Zoom if you are not ready to go live. Please, I beg you. It's bad sometimes. All right, and but Answer, can I add this last part?
Sure. Yep. And we didn't forget you, Kirk. We're coming back to you.
There's one piece of equipment. I call it equipment, okay? But it's really training. I call it equipment that the media team needs to have and should not forget. And that is the equipping and training of the elderly and the shut-in in their churches.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. That means you go in the home, set up the computer so that they can do the one-click process. They know how to get to the live stream.
Yeah.
That's the media team, the tech team's responsibility. And trust me, when you do that, those folk start sending money back to the media team in a significant way. I just gave you the training.
Come on.
Yeah.
Huge.
Come on.
He's giving away the game. That's the whole game right there.
Huge.
Hey,
the whole
Rohann,
game right there.
and Ansem, that point that Rohann just made, I was consulting with the church, and they were trying to figure out how to connect their older members. So here's what they did. They went and bought tablets for each of their older members. The tablet had one app on the screen.
I love it.
It was the connection to their live stream.
That's it.
That member turned it on, hit the one thing, and they were connected to the stream. Exactly. All of their seniors loved them. because they connected them to what was happening at the church.
And I'm sure they sent back the money to the church.
Mercy,
yes, sir.
mercy.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right, Kirk.
Mercy.
All right, Kirk, let us know what you got, sir. Come on.
I feel like I went overboard, but I did grab a couple of items. Some of the things that I like to recommend in terms of folks who are on the go. Here is a piece that is a accessory for the Rode Wireless Go 2 system. It is just a handheld piece that you can have in your hand, but it connects to the Rode Wireless Go system. So this is what the piece looks like. It has a little cover on it, but that's the actual Rode Wireless Go mic. That's the mic. That's the mic right there. That's it. Okay. So this mic will connect wirelessly to the rest of your system. So this will be the piece that's actually plugged into your, let's say, your soundboard or whatever else. This mic will be connected to that. You have an additional transmitter, so you could have two people set up on this. But this is a really good way to be able to actually have somebody on camera who you need to pass the mic very quickly to, between hosts or whatever. If you want to be able to do that, this is one that I recommend. This is a Rode Wireless Go 2 system, and then that what I showed you is one of the accessories. Another thing that I want to show in terms of being able to do something quick and simple on the road is this guy right here. So this is the MV88 video kit. All right, this is the MV88 video kit. So you're seeing it there in the shot right there, but this is what it looks like in the flesh. So that's the mic on top. That's the MV88 microphone. It has a holder for your phone, and this mic can connect to your phone. Now you can just close up the legs of this thing and just point it toward yourself. Wow. And you literally have a mobile rig. And because the phone already has internet built in, you can then connect. Let's say if you're using StreamYard, you're using Ecamm, you're using one of those platforms, you can connect using this to be able to connect in, have good audio, have a stable picture.
Time out. Okay, Kirk. So I got folk who are watching right now who are saying, but Kirk, we're talking about streaming our worship service. What in the world am I going to be doing with that little thing? So for my they haven't changed their format. They're just saying now, how would they use something like that? And I want to throw this at you because I think both of you, Rohann, and all of you, when we were at Pelk this past Pelk did something that was fascinating to me. And I think most of us were here a part of that. And they did that live desk in the lobby. That was bridging the gap between the at-home audience and the people in the building. So I could see that what you were using right there. You've got two hosts I want your audience to imagine this. You've got two people in your lobby before church starts.
Yes.
And they are catching visitors and deacons and members as they come into the building. And you are broadcasting that. So you've got your two hosts there saying, hey, here is Sister So-and-so, and she is coming today. Sister So-and-so, how was your week today? We want you to just say hello to the folk at home and give them to tell them just how the Lord has been good to you. Or what are you looking forward to in church today? So while Sabbath school is happening on the inside, while preliminaries is getting ready to start on the inside, your people at home are watching this, and Kirk, they might be using that equipment that you just showed us to be able to get that video feed, that audio feed into the live stream at Mercy.
Yeah, I only the other thing that I would add there, Anselm, you said that so well. So that piece is absolutely, that point is made in terms of its relevance for that part of the service, being able to add that as a unique experience for your online audience. But I want to be clear, I'm hoping that churches are not just going to be focusing on the Sabbath service. I'm hoping that you will empower your folks to be able to create content. And for somebody who's one man band or somebody you need to do a quick record for, this is a quick and easy way to record some content and make it look good. Make it.
Yeah. Let me
I'm saying that's the answer. That's the answer to Lorraine's question. Lorraine said, "I'm a home-based ministry. Do I need all that equipment?" The MV88 gets you up and going. That's it right there. I've used that with a lot of people. The MV88 is what you need to go with.
Yeah.
I'd like to also say,
go ahead, Rohan.
Kirk, I'd like to also say that piece of equipment, like that camera that he's using there, and he's talking about recording. Yeah, But let's go, because I know you got a range of people watching your program. This is such a great program that people are watching. You have the small churches, you got the medium churches. But let's talk now to the guys who may be a little bit more advanced and a little bit more
That's
in depth. And they're saying, all right, give me something to chew on. All right, come right here. I'm going to let you chew on this right now.
Yes, sir.
You can take that same camera that Kirk just put up with that tripod, and you can, if your system, if you use a TriCaster system or so, is NDI compatible, all you can do is download the NDI tools, you add that to your package, and then you add the NDI tools to your phone. You can go and you're having the baptism, you go up with the phone and you're right there up in the baptism pool covering the baptism. It's live, the audio is being transmitted, everything's being transmitted right here, and you're wirelessly connected back to your switcher through NDI. You're upstairs and something is happening downstairs. You can have it NDI. That same lobby experience, you're out there. The phone is out there, NDI. This piece of equipment right here, I think it was Roger Wade that just came on. He looks so beautiful. Handsome.
With his phone.
You don't understand what I mean, right?
iPhone 12, not even 13, 12.
All because of the new system that he has, right? And with the NDI, you can raise the bar of what you do just with that. So I'm just talking to the more advanced guys. Hey, listen, the possibilities are endless.
And for my advanced folks that are out there, advanced folks who may not have the big production house like what Rohann is used to. No, I'm just joking. You do have. I think this was mentioned. This was mentioned before. This is the A10 Mini. You have the Pro. You have the Extreme. Yes. This has multiple inputs that you can use. And then you can use something like the Hollyland Mars 400S. This is the Hollyland Mars 400S. I'm trying to cover my face so that you can see it. This is what it looks like. This would then connect from the HDMI port on the back of this into the back of your switcher or into your back of your capture card, however you have that set up. Then you have another end of it that is on top of your camera.
Boom.
And this is going to send wireless HDMI back and forth from wherever you are in the church or wherever you are, as long as you're within 400, I think it's 400 to 800 feet for this device here. This is going to send wireless signal back and forth between the two. And so you can have, that on the run mobile experience, but with a high quality camera. This is a Sony ZV-E10. It doesn't have a really great lens on it right at this second, but this camera can do all of the things that you would want it to do. Really quick autofocus, has HDMI streaming, all that. I'm sorry, USB streaming, all that's good stuff. But the point is, these are probably a little more advanced for the smaller team that wants to get a little more advanced, want a little more variety in their content. How are they bringing in different people from different spaces? I use this from time to time when we're recording praise and worship. I go into where the drummer is to be able to get a shot of him. I can walk into where other people are, can get a shot of them, because this can send its connection, send its video signal, audio and video to be clear, back and forth to its partner, which is then connected into your system. So sometimes people are trying to figure out how do I augment what I'm doing to take it into different parts of our physical campus at the church. You can use some of these types of equipment to be able to make that happen.
And so that keeps you from having to do those great big old long HDMI runs or SDI runs,
which have varying levels of success and failure. So yes.
My goodness, man! Somebody in the chat is asking a question about
NDI.TV. NDI.TV/tools. You can get more information on NDI there. You can do wireless HDMI, NDI, or any of those things.
Somebody in the chat is asking a question about the PTZ optics camera. Can you talk a little bit about that? Is that something that will be efficient?
It's a good.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead. You want to go ahead, Kirk? Go ahead.
No. I think it just depends. You said it earlier. It depends on the person's setup. I think a lot of what we have been talking about is going to be dependent on your setup and what you are trying to achieve. It isn't going to be a one size fits all on that one, right? It's going to be, PTZ is great depending on what you're doing and how you have it implemented. I've seen some who have the PTZs set up and it's amazing because they have one person operating them, and it really allows for you to do a lot of things with a small team. But then I've also seen some who have the PTZ mounted, let's say, to a balcony, right? And then when, praise and worship gets good and people are jumping up and down, the PTZ is rocking like this. So it has its, it has its pros and cons, and it's all going to depend on what you. So I think what Rohann said earlier in terms of, get the consult. I think here is one of those points where it's like, I think, you can't be overstated. You don't want to spend money unnecessarily, because what works for somebody else may not work for your situation. PTZ cameras are great. I love them, but not for all situations.
So let's help some folks, because some folks are trying to figure out what that is. PTZ is pan, tilt, zoom.
Sorry,
they're trying. Some people are trying to pan, tilt, zoom. Yeah. And so here's one for you that's free. If you're going to use 3 PTZ cameras, then you need to have 2 people in the booth. One person to select the shots, the other person to do the switching. Don't put that burden on one person.
No,
you need to have multiple
one
people.
Person do PTZ shot selection and direct. I've seen that.
Yes.
Direct and do audio for the house and audio for the stream and yeah.
But there's one thing though, Ansel.
Manage comments and
Pastor Paul, it seems like we need to get that conference going, man.
Yeah. I see that.
A conference, man, because wow, what a wealth of information. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Rohann.
There's one other thing though. A lot of churches though, and this is a big thing. Why Kirk is correct. Consultation is extremely critical. Because let me tell you one mistake that I've found with a lot of churches that I've done consultation with. Architecturally, they put stained glass behind the pulpit.
Right.
What's worse is having it in front of the pulpit.
And you put the PTZ camera and point it on that. Hey, it's not gonna work. It takes a long time to catch the focus ring. It's so shifting because the light keeps shifting, the color keeps shifting, the color correction is off. So you got to be mindful of all those things. So I would say take some consultation on the process. It's no one size. Let me just say the truth, man. Our people like to have, hey, give me the recipe, man. Just give me the one size fits all, and then you can't get it like that. Yeah. Do the consultation, and there's just so many things you can use. So many things are out there, and let's help you make the best of what you do. So remember this: you only have one time to make a good impression, not a second time.
Yeah. So Pastor Anson, if I can help my dear friend, this is my good friend Denise Batten down in Fort Lauderdale. She asked a question, so I'm going to say it to Denise. Denise, you are in Southern Union.
Uh-oh.
And so just send me an email, send me a text, call me, Denise, and we will take care of what you asked about for your church in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, Denise, we need to partner up because y'all are my neighbors right across the street. So we can have them come down and do a one-stop shop with all of us here hands-on in this place. Yeah. Listen, brethren, I'm looking at the clock, and the clock is talking to me right now. It is saying that we are already 1 minute beyond our end time, and I know we want to go. I see Kirk. He's still got, I think we got 2 questions still left on the table we haven't gotten to yet. Go ahead, Kirk, right quick.
No, I want to say 2 things. We talked about training. We talked about investing in yourself. One of the things that I do is train people on how to use platforms like Ecamm, platforms like StreamYard, to be able to do remote production. So if that's something that you're interested in, hit up my links. We have an entire list of courses that are out there. I'll put a link in the YouTube chat. I sent it to you, Anselm. I'm not certain if you put that out there. The second thing I want to share for those who want to set up something for their home, not necessarily for church, but maybe for their home or their office studio, I do have an equipment list on my website, kirkrnugent.com. And if you sign up for the mail list, you get that equipment list for free. So those are 2 resources I just want to share with you. I have courses on my website that you can take $50 at your own pace, learn these platforms, learn how to do some of the things that I do. But then you also have an equipment guide. It's a PDF document, it's free download on my website. All you got to do is sign up for the mailing list. So I wanted to make sure that is out there as well. Thank you so much.
Wow. And man, I feel bad because I now you guys knew when we started this was a 2-part series. So we're not done today. Even though our time is up for today, we're not done. We're not done. So if you were blessed today, you want to make sure that you are with us on next week. I don't know if we can tell you who our guests are next week. I would love to bring these guys back because we only got like a fourth of what I think where we were trying to head today with them.
That's the phone. I'm thinking the same way. I'm like, look, I mean, I know we have some people next week they're going to do it, but we got to bring this same team back. We always talk about part 2, but wow, we couldn't even finish part 1. I mean, the stuff was so deep. Man.
Listen, I want to. Can we give it? So I still wanted to get to the how much does it cost? I mean, and I know that's hard. It's hard to just give blanket stuff because, again, every scenario is going to be different. But give us a range, guys. If a tech team is starting with absolutely nothing and they're wanting to bridge this gap, small church, that 20 to 50 member church, that church, what kind of money are they talking about just in a general ballpark sense? Just throw them a figure out there, throw them a bone, let them give them an idea. 50 members or less.
$1,000 to $1,500, depending on what you go with. If you go with a Mevo camera, I would say $1,000 to $1,500.
So that's a one camera system.
No, it's a multi-camera system.
Okay, multi-camera system. Okay.
How much is the 3 camera for Mevo? I forgot, Rohan.
It's
you can get the
$9.99.
one camera that gives you multiple shots, but there's a 3 camera setup. I think that's like for $9.99 or something like that.
$9.99.
That's the one I'm.
Yeah, the one camera is $340. Yeah, the one camera is $349.
Okay.
Oh, $349. Right.
Mevo system will give you 3 Mevo cameras,
$1,000.
and then those 3 cameras give you multiple shots. And then from there, it would just be a matter of setting up some audio, but the cameras themselves, that system itself will do all the streaming and all that stuff for you. So It's a really great system. And for a small church, 50 members or less, I would say that's a good place to start. But I'm going to add this in, Pastor Paul. I just have to. I hope that you have already understood what it is you're going online for. If you're a 50-member church, I wonder if that is the best use of the time and effort and energy. I wonder if maybe putting content out online, which wouldn't require a Mevo setup, would require maybe one camera, some lights, a microphone, and create a space where you can record content and put that out there for people to consume.
Because let's be. Go ahead.
But for a smaller, bigger than the 50 church, though, I would say you need to set aside at least $5,000. I think is a good number to be at, because if you're going to buy a good HD camera, that's going to run you about $1,800 to $2,000 for a good camera, whether it be Panasonic, Sony, or whatever it is. And then you need to complement
get your ATEM Mini Pro.
Yeah, and you need a proper audio board. You need a proper audio board, and I would say make it a digital board. Your life will be so much better. Make it a digital board.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So listen. All right. So all the stuff that I know that I'm trying to cram in here in these last 2-3 minutes, I know I can't do it. So let's do this, Dr. Henry. We pitched earlier this week that the PRT is looking at the month of March and doing a full-blown tech conference for ministry, media and tech teams. Where we want to, all of these questions that you're asking specifically, we want to bring people like Kirk and Rohann and a slew of others to be able to give you, your time and your space where you can ask questions. They can do the presentations. They can show you, you look around Kirk's room right now and you see all kinds of gear and gadgets, and he knows how to tell you, how they work and what you can do with them. That's going to be something that we want to make sure that you keep an ear to the ground for coming in the month of March. Rohann, if you look around his room, can we see your room over there, those boxes?
Look at those boxes.
He's just moved, but he's still getting set up. He's got stuff in there too. And then he's got stuff to be able to teach and to share with our tech teams, because this is a burden and a passion that we have. We know that the gospel, what is that text? You use that text, that faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. There are people that just aren't coming back into our buildings the way they were, but they still got to hear. And they got to, and you can see and hear together. And so we want to do our best to be able to be a resource here at the Pastors Roundtable to you. A very special thank you today to the Southeastern Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, our president, that's a shame, President Owusu. And I was trying to, actually, I was thinking of the other name that I was trying to remember, and it's our tech guy, our communications director, Arnaldo Cruz, for making the Southeastern platform. By the way, if you're in Southeastern and you're watching, can you type a 1 for me? I want to see where my SEC crew is today, because we are streaming live. What's that?
I said they got to put it in the chat, man.
Yeah,
Just
got to
type
put it in the
that
chat.
one.
We got to show
Southeastern
Southeastern some love today. We're excited
Right.
to be a part of this platform. We are, again, about 7-8 minutes over at this time.
Right.
But we're excited to be partnering with the Southeastern Conference, particularly for these next 2 weeks on this event. Oh, there they go. There they are. There they are.
you go. Oh, they're
Southeastern
coming
is
in.
in the house.
They're
All right,
coming in.
Pastor
Praise the
Step, I
Lord.
see you there.
Oh,
Yes.
South Central's in the house too.
South Central's
Hey,
hitting it too.
Pastor Paul, I think what we can say is this has been a great experience. We want to thank Brian Taylor for coming in, Rohann Wellington, and Kirk Nugent for the knowledge that you've imparted to us today. And we know that this is a partnership, right? So we know that this is not the last time we're going to see you. We're going to get you back on, and we're going to get you in the conference, and we're just going to continue this dialogue, because we learned about 2 weeks ago that collaboration is the way to go. And we thank you for just sharing that knowledge with us so that we can step up our game to make a maximum impact in our community. Pastor Paul, I don't know if there's any final words, man, but we gotta end this thing, man.
I know we got to end. I hate to end because I know there's still so much we left on the table today. But this was rich. I'm seeing SAC South Atlantic in the conference. I'm seeing Kentucky, Tennessee in the in the chat today. Florida Conference in the chat. Greater New York in the chat today. Central States is here as well.
Oh, that's my home,
Hey,
Sister King.
Hey,
Welcome, Sister
Central
King.
States, man. Love
Allegheny
y'all. So
East
Pastor-
in the
York,
chat
Greater New York.
as well.
Pastor
This has
Paul,
been rich
I
today,
gotta-
guys. Again,
Pastor
we've
Paul.
just yes.
Oh no. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
Oh,
I'll say something
Northeastern.
after.
I think we've just touched the Southwest region is in the house here. We got everybody here today.
It's the whole thing. Everybody's here, man.
Mercy. All right. Listen,
All right.
so keep an ear to the ground for that tech conference. It's coming. It's going to be great.
coming
I know
soon.
for those of you in Southeastern, we are planning one in Southeastern as well for Southeastern. And you can't do this too much right now. You can't have enough. You go down in the grocery store, you find 50, 60, 70 different bags of chips. It's all potato chips, but different brands. And the more we get it, the more we learn it. So we want to give as much opportunity for all of us to learn and to grow together so that we can get this gospel out and Jesus can come back and people can learn to fall deeply and madly and passionately in love with him. I don't know how we're going to send this out today. We don't have Roger here.
Well, listen, I'm gonna watch this. We don't have Roger, but I'm about to bring my voice down real low,
Okay,
right?
all right.
I gotta get like Roger, man. So we want to say thank you for joining the Pastors Roundtable, where we make ministry relevant,
resourced,
and real. God bless.
Take care, everybody. God bless.